A visually and intellectually complex film about aliens? Sounds interesting.
Why does this feel worse?
So Arrival is directed by Denis Villeneuve, and it stars Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, Forrest Whitaker, and many more. And Arrival tells the story of this woman named Dr. Louise Banks, played by Amy Adams, and it's about her and how she essentially learns to translate this alien language to English and try and figure out what's going on with these aliens who have suddenly landed on Earth. And first off, I really want to say that I loved Arrival. I think this movie is a great study and look into what makes humans who we are. It really takes a different angle on how language works and the way people in different cultures think. It really was a fascinating film. Now let's get into the performances a little bit. I think overall the performances were probably the weaker aspect of this film. I think Amy Adams is really, really great as Dr. Louise Banks, but at the same time, I feel like her character was slightly bland. I don't know if she really had that much emoting to do in the film. At the same time, though, I think she was really an interesting character. None of the characters are that colorful in this movie. And that especially goes for Jeremy Renner as a character. I really enjoyed his character, like I said, but he's just a little bit bland, just like Amy Adams. And Forrest Whitaker is probably the most eccentric character in the film, but at the same time, none of the characters really have this kind of pizzazz and wow factor. Now, yes, that is a knock on the film, but at the same time, I don't think that it heavily impacts the movie in a negative way. I think the characters really do all do their job. It's nothing super special. The thing that makes this movie special is the plot and the way it's constructed. It's unbelievably fascinating. The way the aliens just kind of show up and the way that there's 12 of them, but they're not hostile, but at the same time, it moves. The story does move. It's not just this slow build to, a shootout or to this giant war. It builds to something entirely different, and it really grips you. Now, that being said, the plot of this movie is very slow, and it's intentionally slow-paced. The film wants to build this suspense, and it really takes its time telling its story, which at some points bothered me a little bit. I was like, okay, maybe we can move through this scene a little bit quicker. But overall, I really appreciated that slower tone and the way the film really just took its time. It felt like it was just very careful to display every single plot point in this beautiful mosaic. Now, one of the things this movie does really well is it has this scale. The scale of this movie is really well controlled. At first, it's just Amy Adams, then it's her and some other people, then it's her, some other people, and the aliens, then it's her, some other people, the aliens, and the entire planet, and then it's all of those people all in one planet in the greater universe. It's really fascinating the way that the scale of this movie works. Arrival is a very complicated story, but at the same time it remains refreshingly simple. And in a world where we're just bombarded with complex narratives that you have to watch 19 other movies to really fully understand, I really appreciated just the pure simplicity of this movie. I think that's really the way that Hollywood movies should aim to go, with movies like Mad Max Fury Road being essentially just a woman turning left and creating an entire film. I think the more simplistic films are really what draw me in these days. In the end, I think Arrival is an incredible study of the human race and how we interact with one another, and how we could possibly interact with another race should they land mysteriously on our planet one day. I think Arrival is a fantastically directed film, as well as having one of the most brilliant plots I've seen in a film in a long, long time. That's why I'm going to give Arrival a 3.7 out of 4. Thanks, guys. That's my review of Arrival. I hope you liked it. Hope you drop me a subscribe, drop me a like, whatever it is you do here on YouTube, and I'll see you next week.